Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Season 25 expansion draft coverage. If you can hear us, let us know. You should be able to. JPOC is a wizard at all of this. I am Bex. I'm Commissioner of the International Simulation Football League. Happy to once again serve as your host this evening. As always, I'm joined by some amazing friends for this very, very special night, and I'll let them introduce themselves now.
Hi, I'm Ewalt. I'm the GM of the Berlin Fire Salamanders. Hardest team name to say.
I am Frostbite. I'm the GM of the Sarasota Sailfish and a running back with a name.
Infinite here. I am head office, and I also made this, so my job tonight is to be on mute and then apologize when there is inevitably a mistake.
I'm Wokers. I'm one of the new GMs in New York for the Silverbacks.
And I am JPAC. I'm a pretty cool guy. I click the button.
And we love him for it. So, just to talk a little bit about the rules as we're looking, I know someone in the chat mentioned that Baltimore already has an extra protection, or a player taken, rather. So, the two GMs that are departing from teams, so DeWalt and Wokers, both of the ones who are here with us, count as a player taken for those teams, but they don't get taken within the draft itself. So, they're already marked off as taken, and the teams also get an extra protection because someone's been taken from them. Baltimore chose to utilize that protection slot. Chicago saw that there was an opportunity and made a trade with Colorado for their extra slot, so their extra protection is in Chicago this year. So we're gonna have 22 rounds, not 22 rounds, 11 rounds, 22 picks total for our two teams. Teams each got to protect 8 initially. They get to protect 1 when a player is taken. No more than 2 players from each team can be selected in this draft. I think that's everything. Is there anything important that the public should know about this process before we jump right in? Taking that as a no. So, we will go ahead and jump in here. The first pick in our expansion draft for the New York Silverbacks, they're going to be selecting linebacker, Jack Banks. This is the user the Roche limit, if I'm remembering correctly. Am I right, Wyatt?
That is correct, yes.
Accidentally doxing you. Hi, sorry. Yes, he's a Norfolk kiddo who I know and love, and he helps us with our scouting, so I think this is an excellent selection. Tell us why you went for him.
He has been the player who I have had penciled in for this pick since we figured out that we had the first overall selection. We know how important defense is in this league, and we wanted to find a linebacker in a draft class that was fairly limited in terms of its top-end linebackers. I had a really great conversation with the Roche limit, and we felt that Banks was the perfect guy to go with here with the first pick.
I love him. I take good care of him for me.
We will do everything in our power to do that.
So this is a player from Honolulu. So Honolulu gets an additional protection here, and they're going to go ahead and use it on Powers?
Venus Powers.
Yeah. I was like, I'm pretty sure it was Baron, but who knows at this point. My brain is melted. So excellent pick there. Baron is awesome.
It was a very smart protection from them. Baron very much didn't want to go in expansion again.
That would be a little bit rough to go back-to-back expansion drafts, but it'll all work out. This will move us into pick 2 for the Fire Salamanders. With this pick, they're going to be taking Joseph Petrangelo, running back out of Arizona. Arizona is going to protect Ryu in response to this. Tell us a bit about why you chose Joe here, DeWalt.
So I'm so glad you said the last name for me, because I was going to struggle there. But we took Joe. We're just really excited. He's one of the users that you can see in almost every locker room. always being active, always just being involved with the league, and we want to have an active LR, and I think that's one of the best things we can do. So the fact that he's a good running back helps, but he's going to help just build up our LR and kind of get us taken off as a team.
It's really unfortunate that Joe sucks.
The map.
Waste of a pick, to be honest.
I can hear Joe from YouTube chat yelling at Frost.
Alrighty, that'll move us into another pick here for the Salamander friends. They're going to be taking Claude Miller II, defensive tackle. Also of Arizona. So Arizona cannot have any other players taken from them. Tell us more, DeWalt.
So thank you again to Arizona. I think they had a lot of depth in the draft, so it was kind of nice to target them first. But Bruins 10, Claude Miller, just stood out right away from the scouting process. I actually remember scouting them as a waiver edition, I think in S22 or S23. I don't remember off the top of my head. But they just stood out right away. Great conversations. Fantastic user. I think multiple league sim user.
Big
So
SHL user.
yeah, so we're just excited. I mean, they stood out right away, and even though D tackle had some depth, we didn't really want to miss out.
Very good. Alrighty, this will bounce us back to the Silverbacks. They will be taking Jackson Kingston. This is the pick from Colorado. So the last Colorado pick. So they're done. No more can be taken from Colorado. So what went into this decision, Walker?
Well, the day that expansion GMs got announced, that Westy and I got announced for a franchise, Davey was in my inbox. And at the time, I wasn't allowed to say anything to him. So I was like, let me talk to Frick, get permission to actually come talk to you before I say anything. And I've been talking to Davey ever since I got permission from Frick. We've known that we wanted him to be a part of this team from the get-go, and it's going to be a perfect starting point for our receiving core here. We're really excited about Davey.
Very good. Alrighty, here at pick 5 again for the Silverbacks, they will be selecting Matt Griddle, safety from San Jose. In response, San Jose is protecting Tyrone Brackenridge. Tell us about this pick.
I actually got a lot of questions about this pick when I made it. There was a lot of GMs who were really confused. Why did you go Mac? Why did you go Mac? And my basic explanation is we wanted to go safety early. We weren't sure exactly who we were gonna go with, but my conversation with Mac in scouting was just phenomenal. I enjoyed him as a user coming in at season 17. He had a player then. There are people that have concerns about his reliability, but we felt it was a really excellent user. And that's really where we saw the value in really all the players we took, but particularly in Mac, is that he's going to bring great user value into this team, into this locker room.
I actually add a little bit of insight here. McGriddle Lover created in S12, and the Yeti drafted him. And when we drafted him, he was a wonderful user. A lot of real life stuff came up, and so he went inactive. And he came back, got really active again, and then some real life stuff came up, and he sort of faded from the site. And it seems like I think this is his third create, and he's a wonderful user, and I think New York has got a great pick here.
And he's also a former Kansas City GM, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
he was the Kansas City GM starting season 17, I believe.
I think he was before too, like before he went IA the first time around.
That might be true.
Like 13, 14, something like that.
Very good. Well, I hope he does great things for you out in New York.
We're really excited about it. We're hoping it's awesome.
Alrighty. We'll go back now to picks for the Fire Salamanders. Here at 6, they will select wide receiver Susan Cash Jr. This pick comes from Yellowknife, so Yellowknife has one taken now. They will, in response, protect Magnus Valdir. Tell us about picking Susan Cash Jr. here, DeWalt.
This pick was easy money, but just a great user. Actually, was an S22 user and shared the London locker room with High. So High's just been very high on them. They've obviously earned very well. Being one of the top receivers in the class. So we're probably going to move some pieces around. We'll see. It could end up being the wide receiver 1 for the future. So be exciting.
Very good. And here at 7 as well, they will select Mario Van Peebles. This is a defensive end out of Chicago. Chicago, in response, will be protecting Sean O'Leary. Continue talking to us, wonderful DeWalt.
Well, Pop Django, just a fantastic user. He may have had some fun times in the league with the whole Philly and everything. What that happened there, but one of the users when I first started GMing, actually I felt was probably the most active in the locker room, and kind of helped build up the Ducks locker room to be where it is. So he's ended up being a max earner and probably has, I don't know, 160 million all from graphics. So we're excited to get to add him, and I'm excited to get to be his GM again.
Very good. Alrighty, this will move us to pick 8 for the Silverbacks. They will select Leon McDavid, tight end from San Jose. The last pick available from San Jose. This is Moosey, and I think Moosey is amazing. So I love this pick. Why do you love this pick, Walker?
CK was actually in my inbox very quickly after we made this pick, asking what it would take to get Moosey back. And I said, I don't know that you have enough. We like Moosey a lot. Moosey's a Minnesota guy, so just off that front, I get along with him. We think he's a very great user. Obviously, he's got a very great player. He's maybe the scariest tight end in terms of pancaking in league history. He's basically an offensive line or like a middle end offensive lineman on his pancaking, which is just absolutely freaky. And we're really excited to put that talent to use protecting our quarterback.
Yes, indeed. Makes perfect sense to me. Let's look at pick number 9 here for the Silverbacks. They will select cornerback Lord Beerus out of Orange County. Orange County here, in response to that selection, will be protecting Rapid Eagle. Tell us more about this pick, friend.
We made this pick knowing full well that Orange County had asked us to take him and trade him back. So expect a trade coming in the future with this pick. I will say that I personally really like Corey as a user. I think he's a good guy. But yeah, we intend to trade this pick back for value.
Very good. This will bring us back to the Fire Salamanders at 10. They will select Clark Boyd, tight end out of Sarasota. In response, Sarasota is going to be protecting Mike Carpassi.
Frost, do you want to take this one?
Cheech is amazing, and I am very sad that we are losing him. Just very sad. Nothing really else to say there.
I think you have a pretty good tight end, so we're excited to add one to our team. I actually did the scouting for Clark and just mentioned that right away off the bat, they were super excited to team and the possibility of going an expansion draft. And that they just jumped off the page as one of the first players we were kind of looking at. So once we saw Moosey go, we probably didn't have to take him, but that early. But we were just really excited to get that into the team.
Very good. Let's see who else you're adding to the team here at 11. They're going to be selecting Byron Dawes, offensive line from Baltimore. User Symmetric. Love Sim. Tell us a little bit about this pick as well.
Well, I got to GM Sim for a little bit while I was in Baltimore, and then I know him pretty well from PBE and Drunk Detroit.
Heck
So,
yeah.
a good experience with them. They might not be maybe the most active in the ISFL locker rooms, but great user. Glad to have them around. Always a good earner. But like I said, when they're around, it's just a good time.
I was quietly really grumpy about this pick. we had Dolls on the list to go in that 12-13 grouping, so I was grumpy.
You're always grumpy. Let's
That's
see who
true.
you did
You
end
heard
up
my
taking
voice.
here at 12. At 12, Silverbacks will be selecting Jason Kearse, defensive end from Honolulu. Last player from Honolulu that's able to be taken. Tell us about picking up Jay the Great here.
Pleasure of GMing Jay back in I believe he was both a Marshall and a Duck. So I knew him from that. I knew that he had been taken in expansion before, so I was nervous going into scouting with him about the fact that he might not want to be taken. But he seemed really excited about the possibility when I contacted him. He said, obviously I'm open to being expansion drafted. I've been in that position before, and to be reunited with my first GM would be a really cool experience. So we took the shot at him, and he gets to line up with Bubba.
And what a pleasure that will be for him. I love that. All right, let's see who you're taking at 13 here as well. It's going to be Tamaj McGulliger, is how I'm going to say that name. Phillies fan, who I love. Cornerback out of Austin. Austin, in response, is protecting Keechwa Jones.
Phillies fan is someone who I've been working with very closely on the awards committee. So I know him fairly well from that. He's a bit of a quieter user, but a lot of that is because he's primarily PBE. I've always tended to trust users who are multi-league users as people who are fairly easy to find, people who aren't usually too much of a threat to go inactive until they put 3-4 leagues on their plate. And Philly's a guy that I really liked in scouting, and we decided it's a great value pick here, so we went with it.
Makes sense to me. Alrighty, let's bounce back here to the Salamanders at 14 and 15. At 14, they will be selecting Carmichael Hunt, a kicker being taken here from Philadelphia. Philadelphia, in response, is protecting Spike Suzuki. What made this your kicker?
So what made this our kicker? They play kicker.
Yeah, but I mean, there are lots of other kickers available. Why did you want this one?
No, this is so just kind of like Joe Fish. This could be first of all just a huge LR move. Simo is the KCC GM right now. Simo.
Yeah.
KCC GM right now. So I don't know.
I don't know either. So
I just
ask.
I don't know.
I think Simo is how I pronounce it in my head, but that might be wrong.
I don't know, but KCC GM, just super excited to kind of one of those players that literally is in every locker room I'm in and just pops up and is always having conversations and talking, and know, I didn't expect to go into this to draft a kicker, but it was a very easy choice when the time came.
I was mad about this pick too.
Fair. Let's see who else we're
My
adding.
every other day before the
Be-
expansion draft.
To be fair, I was mad about Phillies fans, so
Oh, amazing. All right, let's see who else is headed off to Berlin here at 15. They're going to select Hank Steele, defensive tackle from New Orleans. New Orleans, in response, will be protecting Ed Barker, our favorite stinky wide receiver boy. This is kind of who when we were looking at prepping for expansion in NOLA, we knew that like Steele was probably going to go and potentially maybe one of our wide receivers. So we're sad to see him go because we love Chops, but I trust that we'll take good care of him over in Berlin, DeWalt.
we have big plans for Chops, including hopefully getting to play the Macho Man Randy Savage song that was requested when he wins D Tackle of the Year.
That's beautiful.
If you haven't,
Yeah.
it's just fantastic. I feel bad because I didn't listen to it when I was supposed to, but I just listened to it today before the stream, and it's absolutely fantastic. But Tom Hanks is doing a great job, or was doing a great job. Rip. But a lot of NOLA players really, liked the environment and didn't want to be taking an expansion, so it was hard. But Steele seemed excited about it, and we're glad to find somebody who's actually willing to leave NOLA.
Yeah, we tend to draft NOLA lifers, but it's okay. Here at lucky number 16 for the Silverbacks, they're going to be selecting Dougie Smalls from Yellowknife, last pick from the Wraiths. What made you pick this kicker, Wolkers?
Dougie is known very well around this league. He won an Ultimus with Baltimore alongside Nunk, a user who I also have the utmost respect for. So we saw that one of the kickers that we were considering was gone, and we said, well, let's go get the other one before YKW is off the board for us and we don't have that chance. And so we took Doug here.
To kind of piggyback on that, with our expansion bid, Hi and I did a mock draft, and we did protections and everything like that. And Walker just kept saying, "You need to protect Doug. Like there's no way Doug doesn't get taken." And I think I heard that like 10 times even after the draft, because he was just so high on him.
That makes sense.
I like Doug a lot. I have a lot of respect for what he and Nung were able to do in Baltimore, and we're really excited to have him around in New York.
Very good. Alrighty, let's bring us now to pick 17 for the Silverbacks. They will be selecting Dorfus Jimbo Jr., offensive lineman out of New Orleans, breaking my heart entirely.
Breaking literally all of New Orleans' heart.
He's our number one cheerleader, and you stole him.
I want to say I had 4 different people message me almost immediately when we made this pick. And that just goes to speak about Scorp's value as a user. I'm going to use this to sing Scorp's praises because I very much love Scorp. I know that he doesn't always rub people the right way. He's not perfect, but he's a really good guy. I can't say enough good things about Scorp in the time that we have for this draft.
Same though. I adore Scorp. He's one of my favorite Sim League users maybe of all time. So, it's always tragic to see someone you love off somewhere new. But, things work out how they're meant to. We'll move on now to pick 18 for Berlin. They will select Hingle McCringleberry, linebacker out of Chicago, the last pick for the Butchers. What made you go for McCringleberry here?
Mostly just to take Bailey off. But no, we're kind of, if you look, we kind of went pretty defense heavy on a lot of our picks, and Walker started off taking a linebacker, and we were hoping that he didn't double down because the only two we had on our boards, or at least high up, were Jack Banks and Hingle McCringleberry. So we figured we'd take advantage of it and go ahead and take McCringleberry, who really I thought we were going to have to take. I thought we were going to have to take him at probably 2 or 3. So excited about that.
Very good. Alrighty, let's see who else you're grabbing here. At 19, you will select Trey Matthews, wide receiver out of Philadelphia. Last pick from the Liberty.
So this was a pretty good pick. We like Matthews a lot. But what I think speaks to them as a user is we have QC Famous in our war room now, kind of helping us out ever since the trade. And as soon as we shared it with the war room, he just got all sorts of excited and was like, "Oh my gosh, what a good pick! You guys, you guys absolutely killed it." And it kind of just, I think it just speaks to them as an earner. So it was, and a user, so it was exciting.
Awesome. Alrighty, we'll snap back here for the last set of picks for the New York team. At 20, they will select Douglas Quayle, offensive lineman from Orange County.
We went with this pick. It was towards the part of the draft where we weren't really sure what we wanted to do anymore, but we decided let's just get some more protection for our quarterback. The OL that caught our eye was Quayle. In scouting him, he wasn't super thrilled about joining an expansion team, but he told me that he certainly wasn't opposed to it and that he'd give 100% of what he's always given to whoever he ends up playing for. Which at this point in the draft, there was a lot of users, or a lot of the users that we were looking at were people who were kind of disgruntled about the idea of going in expansion anyway. So to get someone who said, yeah, I'll absolutely still commit the energy that I'm spending in this league to whoever I'm playing for, was a big deal. And we're glad to have extra protection for Howitzer.
Very good. Okay, this will bring us to the last pick for the Silverbacks in this draft. At 21, they will select Holden Summers, linebacker out of Austin.
We made this pick because Frost sucks.
Hold up.
We decided we didn't want any of those stinky fish. Summers is unfortunately inactive right now. But when I was GMing the Ducks, I believe he was a Duck and only a Duck. He was part of the MLR class, season 21, I believe that is. And he was a fantastic user for the Ducks. He was in my war room at the time. And so even if we can't get him back, we're happy to have Summers to play a filler role. But I'm going to reach out to this guy and see if there's any chance that he would consider coming back. And so we took the flyer on him.
Very good. All right, so our last pick we know for sure is going to be coming out of Sarasota. Headed off to Berlin. Let's see who it is. It is Eric Richards, safety from Sarasota. User Wildfire Micro. Tell us about this pick, boys.
So Wildfire is IA, I believe, off making their own sim league, but I don't know if it's wrestling or what, so I can't shamelessly plug it. But the safety position is kind of just if we can get them to come back, it's fantastic. I'm not sure that's going to happen. So we're just gonna take the IA player and use them as a nice piece if we can't add a safety right away in the draft. but we're gonna reach out and if we can bring them back, and if we can, it'd be
Very
great.
good.
They were a good user.
Speaking of shameless plugs, for you friends who like our Dots cards, our custom trading cards, there's going to be a special edition of expansion cards that will go up.
Yeah, for all these players.
Somebody say Dots cards?
Dots
For these
cards
players.
for all these players.
They're special holographic cards.
Let me just repeat
So
that.
dope.
There's going to be special expansion draft holographic cards for these picks.
Yeah.
So if you want one of those, you're going to need to buy some Dots packs.
Plugs for Dots.
The rumor is that Scorps just says Scorp sucks in Microsoft Paint.
Scorp sucks.
I'm excited for the Bot Dog card.
The Bot Dog card looks so nice.
I already have
cute.
one.
I have only seen the prototype, so I'm excited to see some of the real things.
It's beautiful. All right. So any big surprises for this draft that we want to highlight before we sign off here? In the chat, if you have a surprise as well, go ahead and I'll read it off.
I'm happy to take suggestions from the audience and hit them out of the park.
Nice.
Very good. Can't believe that Simo wasn't first overall. Agreed. He's such a great guy.
He is really great.
I pick somebody first if I'm not confident in their name.
Why does 6 dot cards cost the same as 3 TPE? Because they're a luxury.
Yeah.
That don't matter.
That Scorp can't afford.
True.
Sorry, that was mean.
Rest in peace, Scorp's bank account.
He's never getting out of that hole.
The one thing that made me nervous about Scorp is like I saw his bank account. I was like, "This is negative $9 million. Who let him do that?"
He's over the cap. Find him. Find him deeper into the hole.
Still at -9. That's.
Oh.
I had to ask him, like, are you buying weekly trainings? Like, do you have the hookup somewhere that they're not checking your bank account? Loan shark, maybe?
Yeah. No, he's just not. This is why gambling is bad, kids.
Heck yeah.
But no, that's it from us, I think. If you liked hearing us babble, we're going to be doing that a lot. For future programming on Wednesday, we will have our awards stream.
Am I being put on any more streams? I don't know if I'd ask.
I have no idea who's on the lineup except for I will maybe be there for some of the time, and Button Clicker JPac Man will be here for all of them because he's amazing.
He clicks the buttons.
Smile.
He clicks the buttons. We will have our season 25 regular draft on Friday, maybe, or pending emergency rescheduling, a different day. We will let you know. And then next week we have a community event. I have no idea what that community event is, but when I know, I will announce it on the Discord and the forums. And then next Friday is our DSFL draft. Wednesday, in between there will be Prospect Bowl, I assume. Yep. I should. If only we had a schedule that listed all these
there.
things out.
September 30th, 8 p.m. Prospect Bowl. Be there or be square.
It's like 2 less sides.
Beautiful.
I know. It's a shame.
All right. I think that's it from us then. So we will say goodbye to you. We hope you have a great rest of your evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you. Thank you and goodbye.